Hello dear friends, this is your personal English coach Divyam here, and today we're going to study a wonderful poem known as Caged Bird, written by Maya Angelou. Let me tell you something about the poem first. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is a free verse written by American poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou. She is widely regarded as Black women's poet laureate. Her reflection on the society and the times she lived in are vividly expressed in her poetry. Outwardly, the poem I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, or Caged Bird as it is often interchangeably known, can be seen as a reflection on social disparity and ideals of freedom and justice. Angelau, with the metaphor of birds, represents the inequality of justice seen in the society of her time, which differentiates between African American community and its white American counterpart. Through her poem, she also illustrates nature of both freedom and captivity by creating a stark contrast or comparison between the two, using birds as metaphor. The poem is divided into 6 stanzas, as you can see. The stanzas describe the state of two birds, where one is free and floats and dares to claim the sky, while other is caged in his bar of rage. The first and third stanza shows the delight of the free bird experiencing freedom, whereas the rest of the stanzas concentrate on the plight of caged bird. Angelau puts greater emphasis on the lamentable state of caged bird and contrasts this with that of free bird. Although the poem I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings has no definitive rhyme scheme, it creates the illusion of rhyme with the clever use of consonants. The endowment in the poem draws the reader's eye to things of importance in a blunt manner. Let's discuss the first stanza first. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. What does it mean? The opening lines show a bird leaping on the back of the wind, demonstrating the freedom it experiences to move about and glide freely through the air. It hovers over a stream of wind and floats downward to where the current of the stream ends and the wind is calm. It dips its wing in the sea of orange sunlight. The bird is shown in a state of great tranquility. It has the freedom to move about wherever it desires. It is so utterly free and without restraints that it dares to claim the sky. The whole firmament is his one big home. Let's move on to the next stanza. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. What does it mean? Here the poet Maya Angelou contrasts the situation by presenting the image of a caged bird. The caged bird tries to go after his cage in vain. The cage is narrow and its metaphorical bars are of rage. The caged bird is seen to be angry with its situation. It desires with all its heart to escape its plight, but the caged bird cannot see beyond his cage. Its wings are clipped, that is, its freedom is taken away. Wings are associated with flight, which in turn is associated with freedom. The words "his wings are clipped" mean that its freedom is forcibly taken away. It cannot fly even if it desires to. Its feet are tied. A bird tied to the ground represents an image completely opposite to its true nature of flight. This represents the fact of alienation of bird. But the most important thing is that despite being in this utterly despondent predicament, the caged bird opens his throat to sing. That seems to be his only joy and achievement in life. Let's move on to the next stanza. The caged bird sings with the fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The caged bird has a wavering voice, which means its voice is shaky. He is singing of freedom, something he does not have. The idea of freedom is his dream, one he cannot achieve, so he sings about it. There is fear in his voice. He had never known what freedom tastes like, but hopes to have it for his own. His voice can be heard from distant places, on hills, where it inspires others to dream of freedom. The caged bird doesn't sing of sadness, but of hope, inspiration, and of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on the dawn, bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. What's the meaning of the stanza? The free bird, on the other hand, revels in his freedom. He enjoys flying through the trade wind that blows through the trees. Sighing trees probably refer to the sighing sound made by a breeze while passing through leafy branches. It gives an indication to their lack of freedom, as the trees are also tied to the ground like the caged bird. The free bird thinks of fat worm that will be his food. With the wind in his feathers, water and earth beneath him, and the whole sky with him, he feels majestic in his freedom and calls the entire sky his own domain. By names the sky his own, the poet wishes to express that bird knows himself to be the proprietor of the whole universe. Here the sky stands for the universe. Moving on to the second last stanza. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. Meaning of the stanza. The caged, inversely known as that he is not flying in the sky. Not that he is not free, but captive or a prisoner. He thus stands on the grave of dreams. He knows that his dreams of flying in a free firmament to experience freedom is futile. He had lost all hopes of freedom. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. It is more pitiable, more adverse than a nightmare. His wings are clipped and feet are tied. There is only a little hope of freedom, and so the bird opens his throat to sing. The bird wishes to travail against all adversities. This is a faint but kindling voice of hope in his song. Finally, we see the last stanza. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but a long for still. And his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. This refrain, recurring as stanza, justifies the bird's stout determination to keep going after his dream of freedom. Moreover, the caged bird chooses to sing as this is the only freedom available to him, that he can enjoy without any restriction. His wings are clipped, feet are tied, but his throat is not choked yet. This is something the poet have felt at heart, and that's why she uses the title I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. This might be seen as the poet's message to raise our voices, to express ourselves, even though the stronger wants to suppress the weaker and never give up no matter what situation we are in. Now, in many ways the poem I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings can be considered as poet's personal expression. Maya Angelou can be regarded as the caged bird in the poem. A stanza in the poem is repeated to catch the attention of the idea of caged birds singing for freedom. The poem uses a metaphor to compare the caged bird to African Americans fighting for equality during the civil rights movement. Friends, I hope you understood the poem, and if in case you have not understood the poem, please mention it in comment section. Do like this video, share it with your friends, and most importantly subscribe to my channel to get my video updates. If in case you have any doubts in English, do mention it in comment section and I will make sure to make a video tutorial just for you. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.